At least at the time of recording, we aren't even one entire week removed from the Rings of Power being unleashed upon the world. I think that's probably the most apt description of what we've seen so far, okay? Like I've said before in every other video that I've done over the past week when it comes to this show, I'm not watching this, okay? I'm not doing a review of it. I like the 3 Peter Jackson films well enough. I've read a little bit of the source material. I don't really have that much of a tie to it. I just want to see the absolute dumpster fire that is the response to all this stuff. And it's only been a week, like I said, okay? But I think that they're probably running out of excuses that are here because now they're just going back to their old baked-in ones. And guys, they still have 6 more episodes that they're going to have to struggle through till the end of this stuff, because when it comes to other large pop culture relevant films or television shows to be coming out, the competition to really take all the heat off of this property right now, it's few and far between. Like, She-Hulk is just kind of its own unique batch of nonsense that I can't really work in anywhere. I'd love to talk about how awful that one seems. Again, I don't watch any of this stuff. I just see it from the outside looking in, but that's uniquely terrible in and of its own. But this is something, okay, Rings of Power, something that should have printed money. It should have made the money machine go burr in perpetuity, okay, but it's not. It's fell directly on its face. And what are the criticisms that are out here? Okay, we know what mass media, and we know what we're going to be talking about here in a little bit, but the actual criticisms that are going on, it's slow, it's boring, the acting is wooden, the dialogue is atrocious, and nobody likes the characterization of Galadriel, okay? Outside of that, I don't like some of the high points, okay, at least from the people that I look at when it comes to criticism of this type of stuff. They've actually given props to one of the most vocal detractors and somebody who said that she was going to be an activist on the show, the Black Dwarf girl. Like, people like her mostly because she hasn't been on screen that much. That could be changing tomorrow or midnight tonight Pacific time, I think, is when it gets released upon the world. Okay, episode 3. That could change by then, but at least right now, that's been one of the high points that's been out there in an otherwise just relentless assault on the lack of quality when it comes to this show. Race, okay, has really nothing to do with it. Okay, all the criticism is basically falling on the shoulders of the white elves, okay, or just asking, okay, about the elf that looks like Don Lemon. It's like, why you got such a tight fade? Why is everything all lined up? You're supposed to be in a fucking time that's a long, long, long ago. And why does it look like you constantly are just coming straight out of a barbershop? It doesn't look appropriate. But that criticism is also levied against a bunch of the other elves that are out there as well, with short hair instead of long flowing locks, as it would be, because again, when it comes to addressing certain circumstances, getting a haircut and everything getting all tight and lined up isn't exactly of high priority. Nothing that I've been hearing, okay? But then again, I don't know if Nick Fuentes is doing a review of Rings of Power, okay? Nobody's bringing race into any of this stuff. They are just repurposing all of the different articles and the different complaints that they knew they've already baked in, because again, once this show was originally announced some 2-3 years ago at this point, one of the first things that they said is, we're going to be doing the Second Age, and it's going to be diverse, and it's going to be telling a different story than what you've seen before. Okay, so they already had this baked in to begin with, okay? All of the marketing, all of the production, all of the promotion was all based around, we know that you guys love this franchise, we know that you guys love the source material, and we're going to be taking a shit on it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And then once the show starts to roll out, why do you hate it so much? Oh my god, everybody who doesn't like it is just literally a fucking racist and a bigot and a sexist. Maybe that'll come out next week, okay, when people just continue to say, no, Galadriel's a cunt, we don't really like her all that much. And then, yes, then we'll start to get the, hashtag we stand with all women, because that's what Lord of the Rings is for. Let's take a look at some of this nonsense. Original Lord of the Rings cast supports Rings of Power amid racist attacks. Three of the four. The The other one, I guess, is just a bigot, whatever. Frodo, Sam, Pippin, and Merry also know how to fight internet trolls. Yeah, and again, one of the big criticisms of the first couple of episodes, I think it was one of the first scenes that was out there, was a bunch of elves that have been training for centuries at this point. We're trying to fight a snow troll, just not really getting any progress and doing as much until Galadriel shows up and single-handedly takes down a snow troll, where you would have, okay, the Fellowship back in the day, okay, 20 years ago when the first film was originally released, during the battle in Moria, okay, when there was a troll there, and they had, what, Gimli, Aragorn, Boromir, all of the hobbits, Gandalf, oh, and Legolas was there as well, and it took a combined effort of everybody ganging up on one singular troll in a very controlled, enclosed area in order to take it down, as opposed to Galadriel on top of a fucking mountain in the snow and the ice, okay, taking it down, okay, by hopping off of a sword in midair. I've seen the clips. It's a fucking abomination to writing and consistency. But again, we're just supposed to clap because she's a strong female talented lead. Yeah, okay, fuck off. Original cast members of the Lord of the Rings film trilogy came to the aids of several Rings of Power actors. Again, provide receipts on this one, because I don't fucking believe it, because I've been looking at the criticism, because this is the angle that I want to take on this stuff. The reaction, the overreaction to it, because I don't see it. People are just complaining that the show is not very good. Race has nothing to do with it. Shire's Elite Four. Oh my god. Well, where's Bilbo in that one? Anyways, Elijah Wood, Sean Astin, Billy Boyd, and Dominic Monaghan have taken to social media to express their support for the cast of Amazon Prime Video spinoff. Please stop being mean to the biggest corporation on fucking human Earth. Like, piss off. Coming together since the first time since traveling to Mordor, Wood, Boyd, and Monaghan. But what about Aston, though? Posted a photo of themselves wearing a fan-made shirt with human, hobbit, and elf ears, with different skin tones. Yeah, that's all nice and wonderful and fantastic and cool. And if it was a good show, these made-up people, I don't know if there would be review bombing on it, because again, we have a direct corollary in this one. Why did the people who apparently hate and are review bombing Rings of Power are either ambivalent or like House of the Dragon? There's a couple of race-swapped characters that are in there as well. It has a strong, independent female lead who's even a young girl as well, who would be taking the brunt of the criticism. But people actually like that show. It's 3 episodes in, and there's very few criticisms that I'm seeing of that one. Other than, yeah, it's taken a while to go somewhere, but people like the journey that it's going on so far, as opposed to cunt-face McPointy ears who just decided, which... Again, she thought that she was going to go swimming across an ocean, and then only through a chance meeting with somebody ended up getting on a raft or some dumb shit like that. Like, that's what people don't like. The racism has nothing to do with it. Oh my god. Anyways, I want to get to what Lord of the Rings Prime. Okay, this came out late last night, okay? I don't know, everybody's already fucking made a video on it, and it was going to be the last video of today, but something pretty significant happened. We'll talk about that whenever I cut that one up, but here's what they had to say, and I'd imagine, yes, there's going to be more stupid shit to talk about tomorrow, perhaps, but here's 3 panels that, Amazon Prime put out. Stop being mean to our billion-dollar show, whatever. We, the cast of Rings of Power, stand together in absolute solidarity and against the relentless racism, threats, harassment, and abuse some of our castmates of color are being subjected to on a daily basis. We refuse to ignore it or tolerate it. If it's so bad, take it to the authorities. If it's something that makes you guys feel a certain way, put it on blast so everybody else can be like, yeah, that's probably not cool. There's better things you can criticize on. But I'm just calling cap on this because there's nothing. There's absolutely fucking nothing. You guys just can't stomach that you're a part of a fucking train wreck that is happening in fucking real time, okay? And the fact that it's getting drip-fed out over the course of the next month and a half, and there is nothing on the horizon. The next big project, the next big property that's coming out is Wakanda Forever, which, again, has so many other baked in apologetics in it that, yeah, even if that comes out and it's a fucking steaming pile of shit like the rest of the Marvel stuff that's come out over the past couple of years, oh boy, defenses are going to be at sky high levels for that one. But that's not until November, and a brace for impact on that. Anyways, just go ahead and just erase a couple of the different lines that are in here, and you can just reuse that back in November. Anyways, J.R.R. Tolkien created a world which by definition is multicultural. Well, actually multi-species, but whatever. Okay, a world in which free peoples from different races and cultures join in together in fellowship to defeat the forces of evil. Theoretically, couldn't you kind of spin that logic back on yourself? Okay, perceiving Amazon, you know, kind of like the epitome of Sauron, having all the wealth in the world, and have Jeff Bezos' big shiny bald head up there instead of the Eye of Sauron. But okay, fine, whatever. You guys are trying to go somewhere very ham-fistedly. Rings of Power reflects that. Our world has never been all white. Fantasy has never been all white. Middle Earth is not all white. BIPOC people in Middle Earth belong in Middle Earth, and they are here to stay. Is that a threat? Like, again, nobody cares. Nobody's picking on Lenny Henry for his, well, other than the fact that Harfoots look like super fucking dirty and gross and can't eat berries properly. The fuck is wrong with you folks? Anyways, finally, all our love and fellowship go out to fans supporting us. Yes, support Current Thing, guys. Support the big corporation who got exemptions during the pandemic, while everybody else who had their own small business had to go home and stay at home and watch the streaming services, which are now on the brink of collapse. But anyways, no. Especially fans of color. Oh my god, so now you're tiering your fan groups, but at the same time, okay, if you're saying that all criticism, which again, through the other hit pieces that are out there, you're linking all of that shit together, okay, so the people who support you don't like the source material, and that the detractors, even if they're people of color, the way your terminology, and again, if they're criticizing you, they're being racist by proxy. Okay, I don't get it. See, all of this shit is fucking nonsensical. Just read the actual reviews instead of just putting out this shit that you wrote like weeks ago at this point. Anyways, we see you. Oh, no, right. I missed something because they're just attacked for simply existing in this fandom. Yes, lifelong bonds that have been forged over the course of a fucking week since the show's been out. Oh, my God. We see you, your bravery, and endless creativity. Well, at least they see something, because it's not actually the legit criticism. All right. Your cosplays, fan cams, fan art, and insights make this community a richer place and reminds us of our purpose. You are valid. You are loved, and you belong. You are an integral part of the Lord of the Rings family. Thanks for having our backs. Namare. That's nice, wonderful, fantastic. I know I need reaffirmation from big company in order to just know that I exist. But yeah, no, they put out another press release, or another statement as well. We're really proud of the cast that we have in our show. We welcome discussion and even criticism around the series. Really doesn't look like it, because you aren't handling it well. Again, have has the review function been turned back on? Just wondering. However, we will not condone racism of any kind. Still haven't provided any receipts when it actually fucking comes to this stuff. You guys are just absolutely insane, grasping at straws. You know the shit sucks because you already had all of these hit pieces. You had the talking points out there long before the show ever went live on your fucking streaming service. It's a $1 billion show, a part of a $1 trillion fucking empire, and you're crying and bitching and whining and complaining because people think that it fucking sucks. You said that it was going to be based off of the lore and the mythos of the Silmarillion and the appendices about the Second Age, okay? And then when you started to, you know, just give people some insight as to what is going on, realizing that, oh no, it's actually not a straight adaptation. It's just going to be inspired by, and it's going to be close, and you're just going to sit there and shut up and fucking like it. You could have tried this with your own original product, okay? You could have just had elves and dwarves and anything else. The archetypes are already already out there, prime for use. How many different vampire films are out there, okay? You could have had a different spin on that, but no. You wanted to sap off of the legacy of J.R.R. Tolkien. You wanted to have the access to the built-in fan base of Lord of the Rings instead of just putting out generic fantasy show, which is what you have right here. You wanted to have an excuse for your fucking failures. We're seeing that with so many other large properties right now. It's not unique to Lord of the Rings, but for the fact that Amazon is attached to this and the fandom, as rabid as they are and as knowledgeable of the source material that they are, this is one of the biggest catastrophes that we have seen in media in a long fucking time. And I am praying and I am hoping that this is going to be the impetus for change in the industry, whether it be for just simply the streaming services or writing and character work as a whole, because that seems to be incredibly lacking right now. And yes, there's a few more episodes to come out before the end of this fucking season, so hopefully somebody's paying attention, but more than likely they're just writing hit pieces as to, oh, there's just white guys who just hate on this show and they don't actually pay attention because there's black people in the audience and they might be offended and they won't be able to relate to our story if they can't see themselves on the screen. Now just write something good and people will fucking show up, okay? Once again, House of the Dragon, case in point. People like, people fucking hate. With all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.